kí wá ní ìwúlò òṣùpá mi tí ò bá lè tanná alẹ́ fúnra wọ̀ rẹ̀. Ṣé mọ́tàn ká mọ́ parọ́ àbí kí n sọ pé ká mọ́ purọ́ ká mọ́ jalè àyà ni ó pọ̀ ju àlè lọ.
Ká sọ títọ́ kẹ́yẹ kó fọ́ tí a bá parọ́ èèyàn ò ní kẹ́yẹ kó má lọ. Adírẹ̀mí mi ọkọ ni ẹ́ ó pọ̀ ju àlè lọ.
Tó túmọ̀ sí pé ọkọ ni mí ó yàtọ̀ sí ọkọ tá a múròkó. Ìwọ nìtàn náà mi, ìwọ lójijì mi, ìwọ làárọ̀ mi, ìwọ lọ́sàn mi, ìwọ nìrọ̀lẹ́ mi, ìwọ lálẹ́ mi.
How far, my people, and welcome back to Naija Films Recap. Today, we are diving deep into a powerful Yoruba epic, a story of destiny, divine calling, and the devastating consequences of human jealousy. We're talking about the gripping movie Orisa Jofunmi, My Husband. This story is a profound reminder that what a man desires in a woman and what he can handle are often two very different things. We will follow the journey of a young woman chosen by the gods for a sacred purpose, who finds what she believes to be the love of her life. But she soon learns that the title of husband can sometimes become a cage, and the man who loves the Orisa, a deity, may despise the duty that comes with her. Get ready for a tale of mystical dances, a royal romance, a bitter rival, and a single act of sacrilege that sets the stage for a tragic downfall. Grab your popcorn, because this journey into the heart of tradition, love, and possession is one you won't soon forget. Let's get into it. Our story opens in the mystical, vibrant village of Omida. We are immediately thrust into a sacred, joyous celebration. We see Orisa Igbanbaho, the divine dancer and designated healer of the village. She is not just dancing for entertainment. She is in a spiritual trance, and with every movement, she is channeling divine energy, healing the sick and blessing the townspeople who have gathered to honor her. As the dance reaches its peak, her eyes, filled with an ancient wisdom, scan the crowd and lock onto a young girl. The Orisa dances towards this girl, a beautiful young woman we come to know as Eya Iyo. The deity's face is serene as she leans in and speaks a fateful sentence. It is your time. And just like that, Eya Iyo jolts awake, her heart pounding. It was a dream, but one so real, so vivid, it shakes her to her core. This isn't the first time. She has been plagued by these strange spiritual dreams, and they are becoming more intense. She knows she cannot ignore this any longer. The spiritual weight of it is too heavy. She tells her mother she must immediately go and see Baba Omoye, the village elder and spiritual guide. Eya Ijo arrives at Baba Omoye's hut, her heart heavy with confusion. She recounts the recurring dream, the dancing deity, the music, the feeling of being watched, and the chilling, definitive words, "It is your time." She pleads with him for the truth. The elders say when one is confused, one goes to the elders. She says, her voice trembling, "Please do not hide anything from me. I need to know why I have these dreams and who this person is." Baba Omoye, his face etched with the wisdom of ages, nods slowly. He doesn't look surprised. He looks expectant. "The signs are all there," he says, gravely. "The time is near." He tells her that her confusion is part of the process, but the time for secrets is over. He asks her if she knows the story of the deity, Orisa Igba and Bayo. Eya Ijo nods. "I know of the dance and the beauty in it." The elder explains the divine, sacred lineage, The spirit of the Orisa is a sacred calling, passed from one vessel to another, leaving a sign each time it moves. About 50 years ago, he explains, Igban Bajo left its vessel and chose Ewa Iyo, the beauty of dance. When Ewa Ijo left this world, the spirit moved to Iyo Eri, the testimony of dance. He tells her that the Orisa always leaves a mark, a sign, a spiritual echo, before choosing its next vessel. He looks at her with deep seriousness. With all these signs happening to you, all these dreams, it shows that it is time for Igban Bajo to be ready to pick another person. And it means that you are the next person. Iya Ijo is stunned. Does that mean I am the next Igban Bajo? Yes, Baba Omoy affirms. The deity you saw in your dream came to pick you. It is your time to see. As if spoken into existence by the elder's words, the scene immediately shifts to the palace of the king of Omida. The royal Ifa priest is in the middle of a divination, casting his sacred palm nuts. He looks up at the king and his chiefs, his face serious. The oracle says the deity of Igba Nbajo has already chosen someone. The priest announces, she is here again. She has appointed another vessel. The oracle then confirms the divine choice. The next person that has been chosen is from the family of Arijo Sebiogwa. This is Eya Ijo's family. The spiritual and physical worlds have aligned. The village's divine protector is about to be reborn. Back at her home, Eya Ijo is trying to process this life-changing, terrifying news. As she sits alone, contemplating her new destiny, a mystical, ethereal light floats into her room. It hovers, pulsating gently, drawing her attention. It is the spirit of Igban Bayo, come to collect its chosen. Eya Ijo, no longer afraid, but in a state of trance, stands and follows the spirit. Her feet move without her command, out of her house, away from the village, and deep into the sacred woods. There, in a clearing, she sees her, the full, radiant, and divine form of the Orisa Igban Bajo, just as in her dream. The deity doesn't speak. She begins to dance. Eya Ijo, compelled by the spirit now inside her, mirrors the movement. It's a spiritual ballet, a silent, rhythmic conversation. With every step, every turn, every gesture, the divine power of the Orisa, her ancient skill, her supernatural grace, her sacred healing abilities, is transferred from the old vessel into the new. She returns home hours later, dazed, physically exhausted, and covered in sweat. Her mother and younger sister, who comically assumed she'd just run off to avoid washing plates, are worried. "What's wrong? You are sweating," her mother exclaims. Eya Ijo, still processing the awesome supernatural event, simply waves it off. "Nothing, I'm just tired." Unable to keep the secret any longer, Eya Ijo and her mother return to Baba Omoye's hut. He confirms what has happened, telling her mother, "Your daughter is now the new Igban Bajo." Her mother is in awe, confessing she always knew her daughter was special, but never imagined this. Just as they are speaking, representatives from the king of Omida arrive at Baba Omoye's hut. They've been sent by the palace, having been told by the oracle that the new Orisa would be found here. "Baba," the lead man says, "we know you have seen the sign, and you already know why we are here." At that moment, the spirit takes hold of Eya Ijo. In a spectacular, unplanned display of divine power, she begins to dance. It's not the clumsy dance of a young girl. It is the ancient, precise, and breathtakingly powerful dance of the Igban Bajo. Her feet barely seem to touch the ground. The king's representatives are awestruck, their mouths wide open. This is the one. This is the proof they needed. They are immediately escorted to the palace, where Eya Iyo and her mother are presented to the king and his chieftains. The king, overjoyed that the village's sacred healer and protector has returned, bestows his royal blessings upon her and her family. As they are leaving the inner chambers, a handsome young man, dressed in royal attire, sees Eya Iyo. He stops in his tracks, completely mesmerized by her otherworldly beauty and grace. This is Prince Aderemi, the heir to the throne. He is instantly smitten, unable to take his eyes off her as she walks away. Eya Iyo's mother, ever observant, notices the princess' intense, lingering stare. As soon as they are outside the palace gates, she is giddy with excitement, singing and dancing. Eya Iyo, it seems you are about to become fortunate, she sings. Did you see how the prince was looking at you? I know what that means. She's already celebrating her daughter's divine calling and the dazzling prospect of a royal wedding. Later, in the palace, Prince Aderemi approaches his father, the king. He can't get the girl out of his head. I saw a fine lady that came with her mother earlier today, he begins. The king smiles. Ah yes, it is a thing of joy and good news that they came for. The king begins to explain the long, epic story behind the Orisa. But the prince is not interested in a history lesson. I thought you wanted to tell me about the beautiful lady. He sulks. I'm not ready for a story about the town. All he wants, he says, is to find his new love. The prince, driven by his infatuation, finds a way. Soon, he and Eya Ijo begin a secret courtship. It's a true storybook romance. They meet in secret, their love growing stronger with each passing day, a perfect match between the heir to the throne and the divine vessel of the gods. Their love is so clear that when a local family, a father and son, come to Eya Ijo's home to formally ask for her hand in marriage, her mother turns them away. When Eya Ijo returns and asks who they were, her mother explains, and Eya Ijo tells her it can't work anyway, as I already have a fiancé. Her mother's eyes light up. I hope it's who I'm thinking. Is it the prince? Eya Ijo confirms, and her mother erupts in joy, ecstatic that she is about to become an in-law to the royal house. The prince, not wasting time, formally proposes to Eya Ijo, wanting the entire world to know she is his. But not everyone in the village is celebrating. We're introduced to Olawale, a passionate and headstrong young bachelor from the town. He confides in his friend that he has finally found the woman he wants to marry, Eya Ijo. His friend tries to warn him off, telling him that Eya Ijo is the prince's one, and he's wasting his time. But Olawale is not backing down. He knows that his friend's younger sister, Sumbo, is a close friend of Eya Ijo's. He finds Sumbo and begs her to talk to Eya Ijo for him, to put in a good word. Sumbo, likely knowing it's a lost cause, agrees to try. She goes to Eya Ijo and delivers Olawale's message, but as she later reports back, she explicitly told Eya Ijo that I already told him to keep his mind out of it. Olawale, however, is consumed by his one-sided love. He becomes a man obsessed, stalking her, waiting in the places she usually passes, desperate for just a chance to speak with her. Meanwhile, Eya Ijo and Prince Aderemi's romance is blossoming. They are seen strolling through the village, openly in love. The prince tells her he has spoken to his father, and the king has given his full-throated blessing for their marriage, even urging them to make it happen quickly. Later, as Eya Ijo is walking home alone, Olawale finally gets his chance. He steps out onto the path, blocking her way. She's startled, but recognizes his face. He introduces himself as Olawal and confesses he has been waiting for her for like 4 days, just for this moment. He tells her she has told his heart what to do and that she is his first love. Eya Ijo is kind but firm. Love has to be equal, she tells him gently. It can't be one-sided. She informs him that she already has a fiancé and cannot be with him. Olawale becomes desperate, begging her, "You can't have a fiancé. Even if you do, you have to leave the person. The love I have for you is more than what you think." Eya Ijo cuts him off, her patience ending. She tells him he will find his own true love one day, but it is not her. She leaves him standing on the path, heartbroken, and as we will see, vengeful. The king gives his official permission for the marriage, and soon after, Eya Ijo and Prince Aderemi are joined as husband and wife in a grand celebration. The fairy tale ends the moment the marriage begins. Eya Ijo is no longer just the prince's beautiful bride. She is the Orisa Igbanbaho, and the people need her. One day, a sick man is brought to their home on a stretcher, a humble gift in his hands. A guard informs Prince Aderemi that the man is here to be healed by the Orisa's dance. The prince's face, once full of love and adoration, darkens. He turns and walks away in silent disgust. Eya Ijo, ignoring her husband's mood, comes out to perform her sacred duty. She dances. The spirit flows through her, and the man is healed, rising from his stretcher. But the prince is not happy. Later that evening, he confronts her, his voice cold and angry. "Of course my countenance changed," he snaps. "Every day. Morning, afternoon, night, evening. People are coming to look for you. Did I marry for the community or for myself? I'm getting tired. I'm already fed up." He lays down the law. There's a difference between community work and your husband's work. Your duty to bless people must not affect me. Eya Ijo is stunned. She tries to explain, "I am helping the community with my dance, and all the visitors who come here, they come to show appreciation." The princess' jealousy explodes. Appreciation? That's why men are coming. Most of the people that come, they are men. He accuses her of enjoying the attention. He even suggests she relieve herself of dancing and let her sister do it. Eya Ijo is horrified. "I didn't choose this," she cries. "It was the dancing deity that appointed me. I can't just drop it." The prince gives her a chilling ultimatum. "You will know. It's either you drop the dancing, or I let go of you." He walks out. When she tries to offer him his food, he refuses it, fuming. The resentment only grows. We see Eya Ijo dancing again, healing another man, while the prince watches from the side, his face a mask of pure poison. The transcript reveals his inner thoughts. He has a vivid, violent fantasy of grabbing a stick and beating the sick man senseless. Unable to control his rage, he just storms off. This jealousy consumes Prince Aderemi until he commits an act of unimaginable sacrilege. In a fit of possessive rage, he goes into Eya Ijo's sacred space, gathers all her dancing clothes, her divine beads, and her ceremonial regalia, and burns them all to ash. The next morning, Eya Ijo wakes up and cannot find her beads. She searches frantically, a cold dread filling her. She runs outside and sees the smoldering pile of what was once her divine purpose. She collapses, heartbroken. "Why?" she screams at the prince. "Because of jealousy, you wanted to destroy everything." You wanted to deprive the community of the deity. The prince is stubborn, unrepentant, and drunk on his own power. I was already fed up, he shouts, and in my lineage, we give orders. We don't ask for permission. I have burnt it, and that's the end of it. That's final. Eya Ijo looks at him, the man she loved, and sees a stranger. You betrayed me, she weeps. When you saw me, I was the Orisa Bajo. I was the Orisa Jofunmi. Now you have taken away my dignity. You have taken away what I used to dance. He coldly tells her to let go of this and walks away. But you cannot attack a god and expect no consequences. The news of the prince's sacrilege reaches the king. He is horrified. How could he do such a thing? The chiefs roar. Does he want the community to be in ruin? But the prince is arrogant, telling his father he's fed up with his wife dancing for the community and that it's final. As the prince stubbornly walks away from his appalled father, the king, perhaps from the shock and the spiritual backlash, clutches his chest and falls gravely ill. With the king incapacitated, Prince Aderemi takes up the mantle as the new acting king. And with this new power, his transformation into a full-blown tyrant is complete. With her regalia destroyed, Eya Ijo can no longer dance. She can no longer heal. She can no longer fulfill her divine purpose. The spirit within her is silenced and she begins to fade. She becomes a moody old one, a shell of her former vibrant self, trapped in the palace with the man who destroyed her. Aderemi, now king, does the predictable. He marries another wife, a younger, cheerful woman who has no divine calling, no community duty, and whose only purpose is to serve him. The new wife immediately begins to disrespect Eya Ijo, the senior wife, with Aderemi's full support. The final, heartbreaking breaking point comes when Eya Ijo, in a last attempt to fulfill her wifely duties, cooks a meal for Aderemi. As she's inviting him to eat, the new young wife storms in. She arrogantly shouts at Eya Ijo, berating her, "The king is no longer eating your food." Eya Ijo, heartbroken, looks to her husband for support, for any sign of the man she married. "Are you not hearing what your wife is saying?" she pleads. Aderemi looks at her, his face cold and indifferent. "Because she is a new wife," he says, "as a senior wife, you should embrace your junior." That is the final blow. He has not only taken her purpose, he has now taken her dignity and her place in his home. She could not believe what she was hearing. She returns to her room, sobbing, lamenting that Aderemi has collected her honor, broken all his promises, and left her with nothing left to stay for. Eya Ijo, the chosen vessel of the Orisa, the woman who was once the divine healer of Omida and the beloved of a prince, quietly stands up, gathers what little dignity she has left, and walks out of the palace. And that, my people, is where part 1 of this incredible story ends. Omo, what a cliffhanger. Eya Ijo has walked out of the palace, stripped of her calling, her dignity, and her husband. Prince Aderemi, now king, has chosen jealousy over destiny and committed a sacrilege by burning the Orisa's regalia. The big question now is, what happens next? What does a divine vessel do when she can no longer fulfill her purpose? What will the Orisa Igbanbaho do in revenge for this ultimate disrespect? And will Aderemi's new, happy life with his young wife last? Or will the gods enact a terrible price for his actions? We have to wait for part 2 to find out. This has been our recap of Orisa Jofunmi, part 1. What did you think of the prince's actions? Was his jealousy understandable? Or was he a villain from the start? Let me know your full breakdown and your predictions for part 2 in the comments below. If this recap got you hooked, please give this video a massive like. And if you haven't joined the Naija Films Recap family yet, please subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our recap of part 2. Until next time, this is Naija Films Recap. Stay blessed.